So yeah, if you continue adding your names into the chat, your organization, and something you're growing this year or want to grow this year. And then if you have any questions throughout the sessions, please unmute yourself, raise your hand, or you can ask them in the chat. All of them will be great, and we'll be sure to get them answered. So today's topic, we're in June. We are ready to start harvesting and cooking what we harvest, at least the earlier produce. So I am going to walk through some different things that we can harvest in June and how to harvest them, best practices. Then I'm going to share a bunch of resources for videos on how to do it so that, it's clear. And then once Miriam comes on, she's going to be doing a cooking demonstration with some of the things that can already be harvested. So hopefully we get some dishes going. She will be doing kale and beet salad. So if you have those and want to attempt to follow along, please do so. If not, the recipe will be added to the website. It will be included in the email and the follow-up. So no worries about that. Okay, let me share my screen. Got a little presentation today. Any questions before we begin on some harvesting? Great. I will do my best to keep track of the chat while also presenting my screen. So just be patient or unmute or raise your hand if I'm not getting to something that you want to talk about. So in June, there's still a lot to harvest, especially if you got started in March or April. Some people are just getting started now, which there's also a plethora of things that can be started now. June is a really great month for gardening because you can do so much. So one of the things that you can harvest is peas. And you really want to harvest these as soon as the pods are elongated, about 3 inches. If you don't already have just a random measure for 3 inches or anything, often you can measure your fingers or the distance, general distance between your thumb and your pinky. And that will give you a good sense, like, this is about 6 inches for me. So it's not exact, but it helps me get an estimate. And so I know a lot of people will use an inch for their fingers. So if you want to just get a sense of that for yourself, it makes it a little bit easier to just go to your garden and be like, okay, this is about 3 finger widths, and gives you just that way you don't have to carry a ruler around. So you want them to feel full, but before the peas actually start to show or bulge, and before the pods begin to turn yellow. Snip the pods off the vine with scissors or pruners. It's best to pick a test pod and open it to see if the peas have filled it. Mature peas should taste sweet, crisp, and juicy. The test pod is like the first pancake, right? You got to just feel the temperature of the pan, make sure it's right. You want to test that pod just to make sure you have a good sense of what you want to be harvesting. Ideally, they are eaten as soon as they are harvested because otherwise they'll turn into starch balls. And that means frequent, so daily or every other day, because they'll stop producing quickly if they get too mature. So we want to make sure that it's consistent. I will share some resources with some websites about really great things that you can do to save them, whether it's pickling or freezing. So if you are realizing that you have more than you're able to eat, find a neighbor, share it with this community here, or you can preserve them, and there will be resources for doing that. Whoops. There we go. Another crop that's ready to harvest in June are radishes. So, and this radishes are a nice crop to have. They're really, really great for the soil. They also are kind of, you can keep producing them throughout the summer, throughout the year. So you want to pick the radishes when they're about 1 inch in diameter. Again, if you want to bring a ruler out, keep one outside near your garden, you can, or figure out that digit on your hand that is aligned with maybe 1 inch to just make your life a little bit easier. They will turn hot and woody in flavor if you wait too long to harvest them. Look for a firm, smooth, well-shaped body. The color should be bright. The leaves should be healthy and green. Use a garden fork to lift them out of the ground gently. I think you can also use a regular fork. The idea is really be gentle with this process because you want to make sure the soil stays intact. You want to make sure that you're not breaking anything. If you pull it straight up, sometimes it gets lost in the soil. Any questions so far? Any advice from people who have picked peas or radishes before that you want to share out? Awesome. That means I'm doing okay here. Okay, kale is another thing that's ready to harvest. Kale is really good to harvest in the spring and then again in the fall. The in-between, it doesn't love to be really hot. So as we head towards the end of June and into July, it actually can be beneficial to harvest it all and re-sow seeds for the fall because animals will really love them, but also because they just don't love heat that much. So harvest kale leaves when they are the size of your hand or a little bit bigger. This is a nice indicator of measurement. That's not just inches. Again, just so you don't have to keep a ruler outside. Although it can really be helpful to give you a sense of when to best harvest your crops. So similar to spinach, younger leaves will be more tender. Cut with a knife or scissors, starting with the outer leaves at the bottom of the plant and working your way up. Be sure to leave 7 or 8 leaf crowns to regrow after harvest. So if you do start harvesting, my kale was ready to go in May, and so it's still producing at this point because I've left enough on the stalk. Strawberries. If you haven't been by a garden to harvest strawberries yet, please go get one. Volunteers that I've been working with over the last couple of weeks have benefited from strawberries being in season. We've done little competitions to get one, which has been really fun. Ripe strawberries are fully red in color and shiny. They'll be plump and green capped and have a fragrant aroma. Don't wash berries until ready to use. They'll last a little bit longer if you wait to wash them because it just then keeps them in that state. So strawberries are ready. Go get your strawberries. Get them from the farmer's market, farm stands. Go to your local garden. They are delicious right now. This is the only way I'll eat strawberries unless it's baked. Any thoughts on kale or strawberries in terms of harvesting? If you want to experiment, I've been experimenting with growing strawberries in the 1-gallon reusable fabric grow bags that Chicago Grows Food gives out. And so far it's been working okay. We don't get a lot of them, but we get, we've had 5 or 6 really delicious strawberries that are just fun to have on our patio. Basil is also ready to harvest if you started sowing it in March-ish. So you want to harvest as soon as the flower buds begin to appear, but before they open for the best flavor. I actually have a video that we can watch of where to cut the basil. This can be a really helpful way to harvest them so that they keep growing. And then beets. So look for small to medium-sized roots, 1.5 to 3 inches in diameter. Beets can be harvested at any time, but the larger ones will often be tougher and woody. And beets should have smooth, firm flesh, show of rich color, and have healthy green leaves, not wilted. This is similar to the radish. Root vegetables are going to be similar in when and how to harvest. If you're eating the beets for their greens, they can be harvested anytime once their leaves are 4 to 6 inches long. Some other things that are ready to harvest in June include squash, cucumbers, blackberries, asparagus. These are, of course, if you're growing them and if you sowed them earlier in the season. All of these things blackberries are harder, but the other ones can still be planted in June. Note that with asparagus, it does take at least a year to start actually growing, but it can sometimes take longer. But then after that, it's a perennial, so you'll get them year after year. And then I have some videos that show how to harvest these things. This is also on our website. I will share this out after, or we can review some of them if we have time. Also Farmer's Almanac, that's where I got a lot of this information. Epic Gardening has spectacular videos for how to harvest things and how to preserve things. So that's a really great resource. I'll share these in the email. We can look through them at the end. And then the Illinois Harvest Calendar. So this is really a helpful tool to just give you a sense of like, when should I be harvesting? What's the best time? Is this thing ready? I don't know. Let me look. So I will include all of this in a follow-up email as well as on the website, and we can review it further at the end of the session. But right now, I am very, very excited to introduce Miriam, who has been a part of UIC Chicago Partnership for Health Promotion as a nutrition peer educator for 15 years. She is currently the Cooking Matters coordinator and has been partnering with the Veggie RX program for the past 6 years. Veggie RX, because of Veggie RX, she engages participants with healthy cooking demonstrations and nutrition lessons. And in 2019, Miriam received the Robin Orr Spirit Award in recognition of her work in the communities she serves. She has worked all over the city of Chicago in partnership with CPS, Chicago Park Districts, pantries, faith-based organizations. She's passionate about helping families feel empowered about their health. And then on her downtime, if she has any, she enjoys reading, Sudoku, and spending time with her sons and playing with her dog. Miriam, I am so happy to be introducing you. Please take it away.
Hi, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. I'm really glad to be here. My name is Miriam. Hi, everyone. I have been working with CPHP for a little bit more, for a little bit longer. But it's great. I love what I do. The Veggie RX program, if you've heard about it, it's really cool. It's a collaboration between Windy City Harvest, the Chicago Botanical Garden, and Chicago Partnership for Health Promotion. And what they do there is that the physicians at North Lawndale Christian Health Center prescribe fruits and vegetables to the participants. And then they come over to the farm on Ogden. If you haven't been there, check it out. It's a really cool building. Literally, it says Farm on Ogden. It's on the corner of Central Park and Ogden. The participants show up. I'm there. I'm doing the healthy cooking demonstration for the recipe that they are receiving with their box. I also get to select the recipes, and we usually curate them to what is going to be in the box so that they'll be receiving either 2 or 3 items in their box that they could use in the recipe if they chose to. And then they get a short nutrition lesson by me, and then I do the cooking demonstration live so that they can see it see the recipe getting made, and they can taste the recipe right after, which has been good. I've been working with them since their second season. I think they're on year 8 or 9 now. But it's been great. I really enjoy it. And then the rest of the time I coordinate 2 programs, Create Better Health and Cooking Matters. And these are just with adults in the community. And it's a 6 to 8 week cooking course. And it's right now I just finished with Benito Juarez High School parents, which is really cool. And it involved an exercise component. So I'm all over, Auburn Gresham. I'm over at Englewood STEM High School. We're up by the north side, we're everywhere. So today, though, I have 2 recipes for us. One is really easy, quick, and simple. And then the other one's easy, but it's not so quick. But it's equally delicious. And I caught the portion about the beets, which is really nice to know. I don't do the farming side. I just do the cooking side. But I love beets. I love to cook them. Anyway, so our first recipe is bruschetta. Really simple recipe. So we're just going to need 4 Roma tomatoes or 1 cup of the little cherry tomatoes, whichever tomatoes you want to use. It does not matter. And then you can use the, different colors too, if you would like. You're going to need about 2 tablespoons of fresh basil, thinly sliced, which is a great way to use up our basil. I use way more than 2 tablespoons because I feel like the more basil, the better. And 1 clove of garlic minced. You're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar, 1/2 teaspoon of olive oil, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then you can serve this up with either like a French loaf or the little like the little crackers, you know, the specialty crackers that are at the store, so you don't have to do any slicing of the bread if you don't want to. But you can serve it up any way you want to. Okay, so I'm just going to bring you over here so that everybody can see what I'm doing. As you can see, I already chopped up some of the cherry tomatoes here. I just cut them in four, so you can do them any way you like. But I did want to show when I make my bruschetta and I am using the Roma tomatoes, okay? I usually kind of take all of the pulp out. So that way your bruschetta will not be as watery, okay? So usually I remove this and I remove some of the pulp that's in here. Let me get a container. So that my bruschetta won't be as, and you can do it with a spoon, you can scrape it out with a little spoon. And so I take this out so that my bruschetta won't be as mushy, because it can get a little mushy because we're going to be adding the balsamic vinegar, okay? So I will scrape this out. And then you can just dice it, probably as not like super small, but we just want to dice this way. And this way we can get those little squares right here, okay? So I'm gonna put that to the side. So like I said, you can use any tomatoes you like. I think the different colors in here, the variety is so pretty. And then this really straightforward recipe, okay? You're going to add all of these into the bowl, and then you're just gonna mix it. You want to let this refrigerate though, at least 30 minutes, okay? At least 30 minutes. That way all the flavors will start to blend, but I would say preferably overnight. You know, the longer the better, so that they will marinate completely and everything will be delicious and savory, okay? So when it comes to, so my tomatoes are done. When it comes to the basil, okay, just stack up your leaves and slice them, okay? So, like I said, I think the more basil, the better. But this is going to be delicious, okay? And then I just do like so, roll them a little bit. And then just cut them down that way, lengthwise, and you are set to go, okay? It already looks beautiful. I wish we were in person. This is smelling divine, okay? So we're also going to add our balsamic vinegar, and that is 1.5 teaspoons. You can do a little more if you like. I do. Whatever, whichever one you decide to do will be delicious, okay? And we're gonna add just a little bit of black pepper. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt, okay? And then we'll mix this up, okay? You can add your clove of garlic now. I'm just going to use, actually I do. We can mince this too. Okay, and we can just add it to here and it will be so tasty. You can do more garlic if you are a garlic lover. I am not such a garlic lover, but I know that it's really good for our health, and that it adds a ton of flavor to food. So I add it, but sometimes when I'm not feeling super garlicky, I'll omit it. But if we're trying to use up our veggies and our spices, then let's add it in, okay? Quick. And here we go. You have your bruschetta, okay? Like I said, you can put this on your French bread. You can put this on any type of loaf that you would like, a little baguette, and it's gonna be really, really tasty and super delicious, okay? So if you want, it's so easy. It's only like 6 ingredients. Probably most of them we already have, which is really fun. I made like a healthy cooking matters brunch for a group of ladies in at the health stop in Auburn Gresham. And I made it like a brunch with friends type of thing. And we served up this bruschetta and everybody thought it was excellent and it was really tasty, you know. And then when I showed them how to make it, like it's super easy, you know, you're gonna wow everybody. Now, the other thing you can do too is you can put some balsamic vinegar in a little pan, and then you can cook it down, right? You can reduce it, make like a reduction out of it, and then you can drizzle that on top of your bruschetta, and it's gonna make it taste even better. But that's, you know, an extra step if you want to do all that. If you don't want to, your regular bruschetta is going to be super delicious. Let me know if you want to make it. If you try to make it, you know, it'll be really tasty. Okay. The other recipe that I have, that one is, I want to say like the star of the show. Okay. This was the recipe that when I was introduced to it, maybe like 9 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. I was like, when I tried it, I said, oh my God, I can make easy, healthy food at home that's delicious. And I think that's it's one of the common themes that I hear, you know, that healthy food doesn't have any flavor or that it doesn't taste as good. And I always tell them that's because you have not run into the right recipe. And, you know, we can make healthy food that feeds our bodies, food that we can grow ourselves, right? We don't even have to necessarily buy it. And it will be so delicious. Okay. So this one is the kale and roasted beet salad, okay? And if you don't know, all hail kale, right? It's super healthy for us. It's super delicious. I really like kale because, like I said, I'm not a farmer, but Oren gave me a little kale plant one year, and I put it in our backyard, and I forgot about it, and I'm I was bad. I didn't water it. I don't know for how long, but it made it. Like it grew. It did not droop. I said, yes, you are the plant for me. Very sturdy. So for our kale and roasted beet salad, we are going to need 5 to 6 small roasted beets. Now, you know, at the store, sometimes they have like these ginormous beets. So I would recommend to use the more like to the small or medium size because we're gonna roast them in the oven. Okay. So we're putting these in the oven. You can boil them if you want to, but nothing is gonna give the same flavor to these beets as roasting them, right? Because when we roast any vegetable, the natural sugar that's in there is gonna caramelize and it's gonna change the taste completely. Okay. So if we have any beet haters in this group, this is the recipe. This is the way to try beets. If you have anyone at home that's like, oh, I don't know how I feel about beets, have them try this recipe. It will convert them. Okay. So 5 to 6 small roasted beets. We're going to just rinse them off really well, wash them really well, and then you're going to wrap them each individually in aluminum foil, and you're going to put them in your oven. You're going to preheat your oven 400 degrees. And don't worry, I'm going to show you everything. I'm just going to go over it first, okay? We're going to need 1 bunch of kale. You're going to need half a cup of pecans, half a cup of feta or goat cheese, whichever one you prefer. You can also omit the cheese if you don't want to use it. You do not have to. Half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of honey, salt and pepper to taste. And the secret ingredient is 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Okay. So these are, you know, these are probably things that we all probably mostly have in our cupboards right now, right? In our pantry right now. So this is how we're going to make this. Okay. So let's say we already baked our beets. We already put them in the oven. They took however long they took. So the small ones will take like 40 minutes to you know, cook, to be done. And then the medium sized ones will take between like 60 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, right? And how do you know if they're done? You're going to poke them with a fork, and if it goes through easily, then they're ready to go. Okay. I would suggest that if you bake them, you use like a cookie sheet, and then because some of the juices will drip out. So, you know, have something so that it doesn't fall on the bottom of the oven, and then you have to be doing all that cleaning. Okay. All right. So let me bring you over so I can show you. We have, remember, we roasted our beets already. let me move some of this stuff out of the way. So I usually roast them the night before because you have to wait for them to cool down. And you know, I don't want to burn my hands. Hold on, let's do this on here. So you wrap them individually in foil, okay? And then once they're done and they're cool, okay, here is what it looks like. All right. So as you can see, some of the juice did come out, did drip out. So we do want this extra liner on your what am I talking about? Your oven, okay? Put an extra liner down. So you can see they're all done. And now I want you to I want to show you how easy this is once they are roasted, okay? Super quick, super easy to peel them, okay? So you're just gonna take it since it's done, and then look at how the skin just comes off, okay? And this is what we're looking for the skin to just come off really quickly, okay? I love beets, I have to tell you. I love raw beets, I love roasted beets. I've never ever had a pickled beet, which I feel like I have to try it because I hear a lot of people like that's the only way they've ever tried beets. So I am maybe I'll try it in July when the kids are finally done with their summer camp. I'll take some downtime and try some pickled beets, okay? Now, I did this also because some of the, there's some charring on the aluminum foil, and I didn't want to get that in any of the salad, okay? So now we have our beet here. You can wear gloves if you want to so your fingers don't get a little red. I don't really mind. I don't feel like it's been a problem for me. I just, you know, it comes off when I wash my hands. But be careful with your clothes too, because it could stain. So that's it. Our beet is done. Okay. It has the texture, and I don't know. Maybe it'll be different for you all, but to me, it has a texture like cranberry sauce or cranberry, like Thanksgiving vibe. That's what I get. Okay. Because it's almost jelly-ish. Okay. All right. And then we're just gonna chop it up. Any size you want. You can do like bigger pieces. I usually do smaller pieces just so that if I'm on the go or, you know, the kids can just try them and not have to, you know, be biting down these big, huge pieces of beet. Okay. But there you go. There is our roasted beet. It has a way different taste than regular, the raw beet. I feel like raw beets are a little like jicama, but a little bit more earthy. But this beet is delicious and it's soft. That's the other thing to its texture. It's soft, so it's not like super hard to chew on or, you know, to bite on. So it's another favorite, okay? So once you have your beets, you are like halfway there, okay? Super easy. The other part that might take a little time too is the pecans, okay? So you're gonna take your pecans and you're gonna put them in a pan like this, or any size pan, it doesn't matter. But we're not adding anything, and we are going to toast them, okay? Now, I am Mexican, and we have this these peanuts that are like covered in sugar, and they're called garapiñados, and they're my favorite, and they were always my favorite, and my grandma knows this and my aunts know this. So whenever my mom goes to Mexico, she brings me back like this huge bag like sugar covered peanuts, and I'm always like, guys, I can't eat like that anymore. Don't send it because I will eat the whole bag. So candied pecans always remind me of the garapiñados. So this is a healthier take on candied pecans, okay? So all we're gonna do is we're gonna toast them. And remember, you know, once they start to get fragrant, that's when you wanna remove them. They're really easy to burn, so just 4 minutes real quick. Sorry, everybody, excuse me, gotta reach over here. 3-4 minutes toasting them, and then they're gonna be done. They will start to get a little darker in color. So you wanna see that. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to put them on a cutting board and we're going to drizzle them with a little bit of honey. And that is a healthier take on the candy pecans. Now, I do mean a drizzle, okay? I do not dump the whole thing of honey in there because then that defeats the whole purpose. That's not what, you know, we just want a little bit of sweet. We don't want the whole sweetness. And that's also gonna go in the salad and it'll make it really, really tasty, okay? So those are going already, okay? Now I'm going to plate our beets over here. That's what I was trying to do. Oh, the beets don't want to move. Okay, and then now moving on to our kale. Okay, so the beets definitely you want to get do first. And then your pecans, you want to toast those too. And then we're going to move on to our kale, okay? Because it is going to get special treatment too, not just everybody else, okay? So this is for the pecans. We'll leave it on the side, okay? So once you have your kale, all right, you want to destem it. I usually destem it. Some people swear they can eat the stem on the kale and it doesn't bother them. It's not bitter to them. If this is you, even better, right? If you can just chop up the whole entire kale leaf, please, you're good to go, you know? I destem it, okay? I destem it. And then if I am a mom of 4 and I'm a student and I'm a full-time employee. So for me, this is what I do on Sundays. I just buy 2 bunches of kale, or if you have them in your backyard, even better, you can just pick them. And then I destem them. I tear them up into small pieces, okay? And then I put them either in a container. I have a container in the fridge or these Ziploc bags, but these I reuse, okay? And then you can just take out what you need during the week, okay? I usually meal prep. I know we see it all over TikTok and Instagram, people meal prepping for like 10 days at a time. I can't do that. So usually on Sundays, I prep for Monday and Tuesday. And then Tuesday, I'll figure out Wednesday, Thursday. And then, Fridays are usually a bit easier around here. So then I don't have to, worry so much. Okay, so now our kale is here. It's ready to go. It's been washed and rinsed. It's been rinsed and dried. And it's been chopped up into small pieces. Okay, you don't want to do huge pieces of kale because it is so full of nutrients that it's actually a very tough. Oh, you know what? This is a lot. It's actually a really tough leaf. Okay, so you don't want to mess with it. You don't want to make the pieces too big because then you're going to be chewing for a long time, which is what we don't want. Okay, and before we do the kale, actually, let's do the pecans. They're ready to go. Okay, so you just have a little cutting board or any size you want, really, and you just put them on here since they're super hot. Okay, and then I spread them out, and I just, like I said, I take a little bit of honey and drizzle it on here, okay? Super easy, delicious, and simple. All right. Okay, and then we're gonna put these to the side and we're gonna start on our kale, right? So you have your kale. It can be a little tough if you're not used to eating it. So this is a way to soften it up a bit, okay? You're gonna put a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Okay, oh, I have a little seed here. Oh, it got away. Okay, and then we're going to add just a little bit of salt, okay, and a little bit of olive oil. And what this does, it starts to help to break it down, okay, a little bit, the flavor, so that it's not so tough, okay? Now, after you've added a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice, what you're gonna do is you're going to massage this kale like it had a hard day at work, okay? This kale's been working hard, trying to keep you healthy. So we're gonna do this and for about 30 to 60 seconds, not super long, but do you see how even the volume of it has reduced already? And it's starting to get like this darker color to it, this is what we want, okay? Now, if you are a fan of Pete's Fresh Fruit Market, or if you are a fan of no Pete's, let's stick with Pete's. They have their hot deli foods, right? And they have like a big salad bar. And one of their salads is kale with what are they? Like dried cranberries, just craisins. And this is all they do to it, you all. Okay. They massage it with oil, olive oil, lemon, and salt. And then they add the little craisins to it, the dried cranberries, and a little bit of seeds, sunflower seeds or whatnot. And then they sell it to us for no, I'm lying, I don't know, $9.99 a pound, $10.99 a pound, right? But look, we can make it right here. So if you didn't want to roast the beef, if you just wanted your kale salad, and that's it, this is what you have, okay? You could stop right here. You could add apples, chopped up raw carrots. You can add some cucumbers, and you're all set. That's it. That's all you need to do, okay? But since we're here, we're going to continue. We're going to add our beets, okay? Which I had a whole container. They're delicious. I love, absolutely love this recipe, okay? And then we're going to add, like I said, a little bit of feta cheese, just a sprinkle. So I'm not supposed to have it, but I love it. And we're going to add our pecans. Okay. I love how pretty this looks every time. All right. And then for our dressing, okay, this is a really fun one. Okay. So let me move this to the side a little quick. We're almost done, everybody. So we're going to do a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And I make this all the time here at home. This is our fancy salad. I have 4 kids, everybody. I don't go anywhere. So when me and my husband actually have time to eat dinner alone, we'll make this, and then we'll either grill some fish, we'll grill some chicken. It goes really well with everything, but it's delicious on its own. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. 2. Okay, and then we are going to add a little bit of the lemon juice too. Supposed to be 1 tablespoon, but add as little or as much as you like, okay? It's going to be delicious. Okay, and we're going to add a little bit of salt, and we're going to add a little bit of black pepper, and we're going to add the secret ingredient, maple syrup. That's it. 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. If you feel like it's too sweet, you can definitely cut it down to 1/2 tablespoon. You don't have to start with the full tablespoon. It can be 1/2. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to whisk this with my fork until it just, emulsifies. It becomes completely mixed, and it becomes like a thicker liquid. You can see. Here we go. I don't know. Maybe you've seen me. I'm on. What's a famous cooking show right now? All I could think of was Emerald's Kitchen. Oh, did that just age me? Here we go. So you add it to our salad, this wonderful dressing. This salad can go in the fridge I've had it even when it's been like 4 days, because the vinegar gets a little bit stronger, but it's still really good. Okay. It doesn't start to taste bad. Just the vinegar concentrates a little bit, and then that's it. Okay. And then you just give it a complete mix. I just did this salad yesterday for our friends over at Envision, for their employees, and they absolutely loved it. Well, one of them didn't. He didn't like beets from the beginning, but everybody else thought it was fantastic. Okay, and then here you go. You have a fresh, wonderful salad that is going to taste delicious, easy to make, especially if you're going to be using your fresh beets. Oh my God, because they're in season right now, they're going to be delicious. I didn't know until I started working with the farm that there are golden beets. That I swear, I roasted those and they tasted like candy. And then there's the candy striped beets too, which I thought looked so cool. When you slice them up and you can see it inside. It wowed my kids. So If you all have kids or like teenagers, it's kind of a way to get them in, okay? So those were our two recipes for today. Super easy. Both super easy. One just takes a little bit longer, but both super delicious. So let me know what you all think. Really glad to be here. Are there any questions?
Thanks so much, Miriam. I see some applause happening, some people giving you praise in the chat. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that maybe you would do differently? I saw someone might add some red pepper flakes. That sounded delicious. Any other questions or thoughts on that?
I did want to mention, you don't have to use the beets. If you really don't like them, you can roast some carrots. And it's super delicious. Sometimes I'll add the carrots in there just to add more vegetables to the salad, but you're looking at something that's super packed with fiber, magnesium, all these vitamins. I mean, it's going to be so good. Yes, you can use walnuts instead of pecans. You can use any type, you can use walnuts, and you don't even have to toast those if you don't want to.
Miriam, after roasting the beets, if I wanted to do it like the night before making this salad, would it last in the fridge after roasting them? How long do I have before I have to use the beets?
Man, I want to say you have like 3 or 4 days, maybe even longer. Like if you keep it in the back in the coldest part of your fridge, they're gonna keep a long time. You're just gonna see a lot more juice from them. So definitely use a container, but they'll hold up a long time.
Awesome. Any other questions? Okay, Miriam, do you want to, if I pull up the Eat, Move, Save website, do you want to show people around a little bit?
Yeah.
This is the Chicago Partnership for Health Promotion website, and it has a lot of really great resources and recipes for healthy eating and nutrition. So go ahead, Miriam, wherever you want me. Just take me where you want
Yeah.
me.
So if you go to the eat sign there, the little tab thingy that goes down, the pull down menu, whatever you want to call it. It has balance your plate, which just has information on like portion control and like label reading, anything to help create a healthier plate. You'll find there, then of course the recipes tab, which has a ton of recipes. Okay, it has so many recipes. If you're looking for breakfast, if you're looking for lunch, if you're looking for any of that, it's going to be on there. Okay. And then,
Schools, maybe community, healthy food access.
oh, you know what?
Missing
Let's just go to
something. I'm
the
not on the right website, am I?
just just the eat, move, save. Yeah. Oh, unless we want to do CPHP, we can do CPHP.
Oh no, here. Okay, here. I found it. All right. I'll send this one out. Okay, here's the
Yeah.
eat
Yeah.
recipes.
Yep. All of that is there. And then on the move tab, you'll have which I really like, just information on being active, exercise basics. So if you're looking to share some just really basic moves with your participants, this is the way to do it. Or if you're looking for, a way to start with just at, beginner sessions, you can find there different ideas on how to be active, what you can do, what counts as being active, right? Gardening is definitely an active activity. I was like, what, gardening? And then I went out there and I was like, oh my God, pulling weeds, it's a lot of work. So that definitely counts as being active. And then just some safety tips, stretching and just being aware of your surroundings, and kind of if you're someone that has, or just anyone, really checking with a physician before you begin like a really strenuous workout routine. And then on the save side, this is like the basics for your pantry, making a plan for when you are either like budgeting or just making a plan for like, what you're going to purchase at the store. If it's ever happened to you where you go to the store and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to pick this up. Then you get home and you forgot one main ingredient or like 4 little ingredients that you needed, So this is just ideas on that, how to prevent that. And then saving money, ideas on saving money, and then unit pricing. This is also a little bit, the unit pricing is, it's for everybody, but it does break it down. So if you're helping your participants like understand the concept, or just, you know, like a refresher, this works. You'll get a lot of information there. The grocery store tour is something that CPHP offers too. I did one recently with, or I think it was last year, with Iman. We did a grocery store tour of their grocery store that they have on 63rd and Damon. I'm so bad with directions. Or Halsted maybe. And that was really exciting, although they have a ton of healthy options, right? But this is something that we offer for any store. Like I've done the grocery store tours at Aldi. I've done them at Cermak Foods. I've done one at Tony's. So it's good to just help people understand the layouts of stores, really just direct them towards the fresh stuff. This is what the grocery store tour does. And then the Fine Food Illinois, which, you know, it's you can look up where pantries are in your area, okay? So this is important in case you know someone who's looking for one, or if you yourself are looking for some for one that's close to you. It gives a lot of information on like when they're open and kind of what you might need to register there, okay? So this is our Eat, Move, Save website.
Any questions on this while we have Miriam? Awesome. Okay, before we wrap up, I do want to show the basil harvesting video. I think it's just a helpful one to see because it can be a little more particular. So these were filmed at Stein Learning Gardens at St. Sabina.
Stein Learning Garden. And the first thing you want to do is either wash your hands or sanitize your hands before harvesting.
I don't know if you can hear it, but you want to wash your hands, sanitize your hand before harvesting so that your hands are clean.
From this thing right here, I'm going to show you how. So we have basil plant right here. Take your basil.
So that's one of our fabric grow bags.
2 leaves.
You want to go down 2 leaves
Pinch it.
and then pinch it
So,
and tear it off. So you're essentially taking off the top 2 sections of it to use, and that will encourage more growth.
This part right here with 2 leaves on each side of the stem. You're going to pinch that an inch above.
So there should be when you get close, you'll see 2 leaves growing on the inside, like right next to the stem, and you want to go an inch above it and pinch and pull up.
Thanks for watching our how-to video. You want to contact us?
Any questions? I will send out all of these resources, but any questions on harvesting or cooking? We're going to do another harvesting and cooking session in July. So if you have something you're interested in learning about, send it my way and we can make sure, or we can see if someone's available to present that. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us today. As always, I will share the recording. I will share the resources. I will share Miriam's contact information if she approves so that you can reach out to her for cooking demonstrations or recipes or just to hang out maybe. I will share out the Chicago Grocery website with our harvesting videos. Also, other tips and tricks for harvesting videos and preservations. I will send out the recipe and the directions for the dishes that were made today. As always, we will continue this conversation in the Community Food Navigator app. So if you have not done so already, go check it out. It's pretty amazing. And then if you get a chance, fill out our survey. I do read these. I do take them into account. We are trying to work in a lot of the suggestions that come our way for different topics that we can do, also working to bring the communities together. So please, if you have a minute, fill it out and let us know what you want to see. I will be hanging out for the next 4 minutes. If people have questions or thoughts or comments or just want to hang out. Thank you so much, Miriam. This was so fun to have you, and I'm going to make this dish whenever I go grocery shopping next to get my beets, because I have fresh kale and I have all the other ingredients. So I'm really, really excited to do it. And I love a good piece of salmon or chicken right on top. So very excited. Thank you all so much for being here.